Music has changed. How it makes us feel never will. The time is now to visit amstudios.co.za. Brought to you by Old Mutual.
Hi, I'm Mac G, and this is the AMP Studios Creative Industry Podcast, a series of masterclasses that are designed to help you build a business in the music industry. Proudly brought to you by Old Mutual. AMP Studios is a free culture hub facility situated in the heart of downtown Johannesburg in Newtown, with world-class recording studios, co-working spaces, video facilities, a stage, and streaming facilities, all free and designed to help young artists build a career in the music industry. If you'd like to be a part of the AMP Studios or check out all the masterclasses and content we've created for you, just go to www.ampstudios.co.za or send us your name to our WhatsApp line on 081 707 6636. That's 081 707 6636. This is part 2 of Prince Kaybee's masterclass. The smart and switched-on musician, not forgetting DJ as well, shares his insights and experiences of the music industry in this question and answer session.
Welcome back. We're still broadcasting live from AMP Studios at Newtown Junction Mall, and KB just gave us an incredible masterclass. It was so insightful. And if you've just joined us, you're just in time for our Q&A. And the first question that we have is from John Manyike from Old Mutual. He's the head of financial education. Take it away.
Hi, Prince Kaybee. I have one question. A lot of artists and entertainers, not only in South Africa but around the world, are seeing flames when it comes to their finances. So what do you think is the single biggest financial lesson that artists and entertainers in general have learned in 2020? And what do you think they should do differently going forward in order to build financially stable lives?
Okay, so obviously 2020 and COVID has showed us flames. It went very, very deep into artists' pockets, and also the people that gotten retrenched from work and stuff like that. I remember it was a weekend of Easter, and there was an announcement that we're going on lockdown. And my bookings for Easter that weekend, from Thursday up until Sunday, was like 280,000. From Thursday up until Sunday. That's the money I was going to make. But Cyril was like, yeah, we are closing. You know, so you can imagine, if you didn't save up a lot of money, and that 200 and something thousand is something that you are counting on, you're literally back to square one. So what's very, very important as artists is that we need to plan ahead. Pandemics come and go. This is not the first one, and this is not the last one. Unfortunately, this is the specific one that hit us hard as artists, you know. So we're going through a lot, yes, but coming out of COVID and what we have learned, I think we need to plan more, plan further in future. Don't say, I'm going to spend this money now, I'll make it next week. What if next week Cyril Ramaphosa closes the country? So we need to plan more and plan better.
Sure, that's important. Incredibly important. How do you feel about the fact that, I don't know, you guys, artists are in general not covered by any form of a body that represents you guys if something like that does happen, like a pandemic hits you? You know, like the money that you lost, were you able to recover that? Was the insurance covering that?
There's a lot. It's just that artists don't know. I can literally insure my fingers.
Wow.
Yeah, I can insure my fingers. I can insure my hands, you know, because I'm a DJ.
Yes.
I just go to an insurance company and insure the things. Also in live cover. Live cover also comes with those kind of little clause where you can literally, via insurance, obviously everything has to correlate. Via insurance, you can insure the things that you make money with.
Yes.
You know, if you can insure a building that makes you money, you can also insure your fingers that make you money.
Can I insure my voice?
You can.
The biggest financial mistake that you made, one when you look, that keeps you up at night, or when you look back, you're like, shucks, shouldn't have done that?
I've got a couple, but I've wasted a lot of money on cars. Yeah, a lot of money. And not on buying cars. Like, I'd get a car and then I'd modify it, because I'm a petrol head. Modify a car. As soon as you modify a new car, it's out of warranty. You start paying for your service, the company or the dealer doesn't pay for your service or whatever. So imagine having like 3 cars that you have modified and you're servicing them as well. So you're paying insurance. Also, insurance doesn't cover track cars, you know, so you're literally losing everything. So I think those are the biggest financial mistakes. But now that I've learned, sponsors are here. I can speak to a few people. Can pay for tires. They can pay for this, you know. So it's pretty dope.
Yeah. And I know you said you know you have a love-hate relationship with social media, right? But do you make money off of your social media pages?
No.
No? Oh, okay. We'll get back to that one. I hear that we're on. I hear that Zweli is ready for us. Zweli, do you have a question from one of the listeners?
Awesome. So, yes, we do have a few questions for Prince Kaybee. One of them coming through from Tuto, and Tuto saying, if you want to start producing music and you don't have a home studio, what's the best way to start?
You can't start without a... You can't start. You need to get something that's going to make you start, which is a home studio, a laptop, a small lanyana, a MIDI keyboard, and, you know, speakers. So you can't start without a home studio. It's impossible. Right. Unless if you are a singer, Zweli. If you are a singer, you can literally just sing and people will catch on.
I mean, if you put me on one of your tracks, we'll find out just how good of a singer I am, right? Got another question over here. It is from Melissa. And Melissa says, we see a lot of ups in terms of your career. Have you gone through a moment where you really were at a low and you weren't sure if things were going to work out?
Yeah, there was a time I was at a low in my career. I think this was after my first song, Wajellwa and Better Days. After that, I felt I was a one-hit wonder. And that's the narrative, of course, when you've got a first big song and you're a newcomer, everyone is like, what's next, what's next? So I was going through some anxiety. I didn't know what I was going to do. You know, I was going through a low. I remember after those songs, I literally spent a year without releasing music. But yeah.
All right, and one final one over here. How important is it to manage your finances properly at the beginning of your career? We see a lot of young artists that are out there, they're splurging, buying a whole lot of things, and then afterwards, we start seeing articles in the newspapers. So how important is financial knowledge, I guess, at the beginning of your career?
Yeah, it's very important. Also, it's very important to diversify, you know. My mother used to say in our language, "Chelete ya fela." No matter how much money you have, it's going to fela. So yeah. With that being said, you need different streams of income. Where if the music is not working out, you've got something that you are eating from.
All right, very nice, guys. Thank you very much. That's all we've got from our side. We're gonna get back into the hits.
Thanks, Silly. Okay, so now we're going to move to first. Who's the first person who's going to ask the question? So can you please just stand up, your name, where you're from, and then you can pose the question to KB.
Hello, everyone. I'm David from Soweto. When did you realize, after spending a future money, that you want to spend your money wisely to make your career to last longer?
I realized very, very early. After, of course, when you start spending your future money, you go through a dry season where now the gigs that you're going to attend, you start borrowing money. So I realized now I'm accumulating debt, you know. So that's when I realized, I need to stop.
So now you are in the right position of your investment about your brand, or?
I've got my ups and downs. I'm not in the perfect position, but I still have debt. Okay.
Sure, Prince Kaybee.
Hola.
Yeah, Libizo Gilebohang, originally from Matadian.
Sure, Lebza.
Sure, but I live here. You know, trying to navigate.
You know.
So, who's this? My producer once mentioned on Twitter that you don't own your masters. So what I want to know is, how important is it for an artist to own their masters? How do they use their masters in order to have money from them once they own them?
Okay. First of all, I don't own my masters. I signed an artist deal the minute I came into the industry. I signed an artist deal with Universal, just like Jay-Z, just like Beyonce, just like Rihanna, just like Michael Jackson. None of those artists, when they started, owned their masters. Even Kanye West is still trying to get his masters today. But like I said, contracts are very important to be, so that it's very important to simplify contracts so that terms can be discussed. You know, I didn't mind giving away my masters because the contract was speaking to my terms, you know. So yes, it's very important to own your masters, but what's the point of owning something that is not really accumulating the income that you want, you know? For instance, South Africa. In South Africa, you've got different brands. I'm not going to say by name, different brands, alcohol brands, network brands, water brands. And everyone wants to be on TV and everyone wants to be associated with a certain brand and push advertising or whatever the case. But that's a limited space, you know. So you have a limited space that is dominated by major labels. So, for instance, Herbalife. I see you have got a Herbalife T-shirt. For instance, Herbalife comes on, calls me, "Hey, KB, we want to train here, but we want Fit Your Life, and we're going out for an advert. How much do you charge?" Who's the first that's going to hear about this? It's the major labels, because they're the ones sourcing these deals. And then they call me on some, "KB, Herbalife 1, 2, 3, it gives you 2 million. We'll take our cut for administrating this thing. Here's your cut. Let's go." I don't mind that. I literally don't mind that. But there's someone who's like, "I want that 2 million to myself." You know, there's people like that. So owning your masters, not owning your masters, I think it's a personal choice.
My name is Naturally.
Naturally.
Okay, so many people enter competitions, but then vanish after the show. So after 1s and 2s, what do you think you did right that other people didn't do? Or what did you do differently?
It's a tricky question because I'm going to answer and it's going to make it seem like the people that are into competitions are incompetent or whatever. But I think one thing that helped me with 1s and 2s, I was releasing music. You know, when I got to 1s and 2s already, there was a few people who were like, "Who's this cat? What's going on?" So I think that worked to my advantage. Also on TV, there's like 4 million viewers every Friday. I think it was every Friday. Yeah, every Friday, 4 million viewers. So I took advantage of that. I kept on pushing my brand even outside of 1s and 2s, even when I was in the competition. You know, so I think one thing that other artists, or maybe, what do you call them, like people that enter competitions, they wait for the competition to give them something. Yeah, they wait for the competition. Okay, let me wait for them to do something and then I'll do something after that. That time, you know, you're losing time, you're losing momentum. Because as soon as you're on TV, you start gaining momentum, but you must keep that going, even outside the competition.
Dumela Ntate KB.
Sure, Abuti.
How sharp.
Kishabona.
Thank you. Another question, you spoke about like branding.
Yeah.
I guess as a brand, you have to like create something unique for people like, that can always spot you off, even with your music as well.
Yeah.
So now the question is, do you mind being featured on a song which is totally different from your style of music? Like maybe your certain like trademark. When somebody listens to your song, they know Prince Kaybee is there because of maybe guitar or whatever that you do on a sound that represents you as an artist. So if you don't mind, what do you do to manage to stay present in that song?
Okay, so first of all, I don't feature in a song if you are not going to, no matter how good it is, or no matter how good of an artist you are, I don't feature on a song if you are not going to invest in the song. So first of all, we need to start the conversation. Are you going to spend money on this song? Is this song going to make us relevant? That's the first thing I ask you. If that's not the case, I'm not interested. But secondly, when it comes to genre, something different, whatever, as long as you say you're going to invest in the song, I don't mind which genre. I don't really mind. You know, it can be a gospel song, it can be a jazz, it could be R&B, hip hop, trap, whatever. As long as you are going to spend money on this thing, and it's going to be known that we worked on this song, and you know it's now a success because of 1, 2, and 3. I just want to be in a successful project.
Hi. I'm Sheba from Cape Town.
Yeah, welcome.
Thanks, everyone. My question is probably quite a difficult one to ask at this point because there's this global conversation that's happening around African dance music.
Okay.
You know, everyone's looking at what we're doing down here.
Yeah.
You know, you've had your experience internationally with breaking your music into different territories. So in light of Blackout Tuesday, the show must be paused, and people talking about making room for black executives in high, you know, earning positions and managerial positions and up, and creating spaces for black musicians specifically who are breaking trends like Amapiano, Gom, and all of these things that are making such heavy impacts across the world. What do you think our contribution, even though we are majority a black country, What do you think our contribution to that conversation should be? If the rest of the world is standing still and we're still able to do a couple of gigs here and there where they're all at home and they're sort of taking in our content, what do you think we should be doing to maximize on this opportunity as artists, as managers, as people in the music industry who have, the spotlight where we can change things, do things?
Yeah, dope question. I think one of the highlights for that question is when you mentioned Amapiano, which is the biggest wave right now. It's been a year, if I stand to be corrected, it's been a year and a couple of months where Amapiano has been dominating. Like, it's crazy, But it's nice here at home. People have got their own lifestyles and they're dancing. Amapiano has got dances. It's got a certain look. I think one of the things that make it very attractive, or the African posture of music, one thing that make it very attractive is that it's a lifestyle. People literally live Amapiano. So you look at that from a South African point of view. Yes, that's great, sharp. What is this doing internationally? Nothing, none whatsoever. They're just looking at it. They're just looking at it like this. But now, what do we need to do? We need to capitalize on that. Get a thingy, an Alicia Keys on a Amapiano song. Get a Chris Brown or whoever, on an Amapiano song. That's where I spoke about this world class, contract earlier. I don't know if you guys were listening. That it's not looked at as artists. We must look at that clause where we say we've got an Amapiano wave that is dominating right now in South Africa. As a company, because you're obliged to do this thing, get me Brand Magnite now. So they will get you that person. There will be, trust me, universal bosses in the UK and universal bosses in South Africa or Africa. They know each other. They're on calls every day. What's the problem of saying Prince Kaybee featuring Rihanna now? How much does Rihanna want? Let's pull her and let's do it. So what's happening? Like you said, very, very good question. The top is the problem. The bosses are the problem. We tolerate so much incompetence for the sake of being relevant in South Africa. That's the problem. Very, very interesting question. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone.
Hola.
What took you to develop your skill?
Okay, I can say what I learned from developing my skill is I needed to spend more time doing this music thing. Like I said earlier, we see a lot of people that do music and they don't really, invest a lot of time in it. So you need more time in your craft so that you can develop it. I understand your question is what makes or what does it take to develop a skill? It takes a lot of attention. You need to pay a lot of attention to your music and give it more time, just like you give more time to your girlfriend. Ne? Sure.
Sure, Sanma.
Hola.
Sure, kamo Andy ne.
Sure, Andy le.
We improve kanjani sound selection yakho?
Ngiyenza ne?
We improve kanjani sound selection yakho? Like lama sound lawa ozowafaka like to your beats and stuff. Yeah. We improve kanjani because way back before
it was different.
Yeah, it was different, but now.
Oh yeah. Oh okay, cool. That's actually the same question. Stay within the craft. So I use FL Studio. So with FL Studio, it's a very simple software where, you literally don't have a lot to work with, but you can import other sounds from other softwares. So as much as it's very small and you can figure it out very quickly, at the same time, you need to spend more time with it so that you can try and customize, certain sounds. Like on the Fruity Loops, a kick is a kick. Yeah, it's just a simple but a snare is a snare. It's just a simple snare. But how do you customize the snare? You spend more time in tweaking, making it low, high, mids, reverbs and whatever. Yeah, so you need to spend more time playing around with the software. Yeah. Sure.
My question is how would you advise a person to opt in? Like, would you advise a person to opt into signing under a record label? And if there's one thing that you would change about the music industry, what would it be?
Phew. Yeah, what a question. So I think signing is a good idea, but signing with understanding, and if the contract is comfortable with your vision, with what you want to achieve as an artist. As far as how long you need to sign, I'm not sure. It depends. Do you want to release 2 albums? Do you want to release 4? That depends on the artist. And one thing I would change about the industry is promoting mediocre things. Today you can literally just stand outside there and do a few moves and say a few catchy things. Tomorrow you are selling. That's what's happening right now. Like it's just here. But I believe the process between that little process, like doesn't matter how many years, that time between when you start and when you are successful, the time between when you start and when you are successful, please understand me. That time between those 2 points is very, very important, because you learn so many things that will equip you for the big day. The big day is the success. Like the big day is now when you start, being the person that you want to be. But now you can't learn anything if we're going to promote you. You're just outside. Tomorrow you're doing interviews, music video, car, women, alcohol. Everything is happening so fast. There's literally no time to learn. So I feel like I don't know how to do it, but that needs to change. We need to give artists more time to understand what they're here for.
Sure, Prince.
Happy life.
Happy and dad. We all have different parents, right? Have different parents. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, I want to do radio, for example. Ne? They didn't believe in it. So now what I want to ask you, like, this is the career I want to take, and how did they receive the news?
I'm going to say something controversial again, but it is what it is. It's actually very, very painful to feed a family or people around you that didn't believe in this very same thing that is feeding them. It's the most painful thing that you can ever think of. I know at the time when I wanted to do music so bad, the things that my mom used to say, like, I don't know how did I get here, If I could tell you those things, like, it would be unbelievable to you. Like, you wouldn't even carry on doing whatever you were trying to do. It's not how you tell them. It's how you do it yourself. Like, okay, I'm hearing you. You want me to be a cop. You want me to... But I'm not listening to this thing. Everything is just noise. I want to do this thing now. So as soon as that thing is now nice, everyone, Kabelo, I want a car. Kabelo, and you can't remind them, eh? You can't say, hey, wow, Paula, hey. So it's just the nature of it. Don't take into consideration all the naysayers. Family can be naysayers. Your own mother can be a naysayer. It's cool. It's fine to see them as that. But what you do in your own time, self-motivation, self-knowledge. Also, you need to be planted within yourself. You need to know what you want so that you can be able to move forward.
How was your marketing skill during the pandemic? Before pandemic, and you didn't drop a project though because there was no royalties coming in and no gigs. So I want to know, did you able to survive during the lockdown or what?
Yeah, so it's a dope question actually. The marketing during COVID is difficult. It's next to impossible because you can't work a song. Let's say you've got a song out and you want to go out to the people to work the ground. Going out to the people is making a stand outside there. If you have a guitar, play your own guitar, let people know about your business. It's impossible. So COVID, literally all we had was Instagram, Facebook, and iTunes. So not everyone is on Instagram, not everyone is on iTunes, not everyone is on Twitter, not everyone has iTunes, So it was very difficult. Although I had an advantage of having, a lot of followers and people that actually would like to know what I'm doing. That was an advantage, and dropping projects wasn't really that difficult. Dropping it digitally, instead of like going out to the people and working the ground. So it was very, very difficult. We lost a lot of live income as artists, and I feel like promoting and making sure people know your brand physically is part of like live income, so to speak. So it was very, very difficult.
I hope you're enjoying this episode of AMP Studios Music Industry Podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after these.
As you build your career in music, as you build your brand, make sure you diversify. A lot of artists who are struggling financially right now are those who don't have alternatives. Create multiple streams of income. As an artist, your brand can actually open doors for you. You can be a social media influencer. You can be a brand ambassador. Capitalize on your brand. Make sure you have multiple streams of income. That is what you need. Artists with a strong online presence are in a better position to make money even during the pandemic, simply because they had a proper plan in place. So you cannot achieve that unless you partner with a financial advisor. You cannot be relying on concerts. If no concerts, no bag. For you to secure your bag, make sure you multiply your streams of income.
Music has changed. How it makes us feel never will. The time is now to visit ampstudios.co.za.
Welcome back. Let's get back into this week's AMP Studios Music Industry Podcast.
What are the sacrifices that you've had to make to be where you are today? And secondly, as an artist, what do you stand for and what do you want your listeners to get from your music?
Okay, so sacrifices. I was willing to have a rocky relationship with my mother for the sake of my career. I was literally willing to say, "Hey, Olaid, think what you want. Like, I mean, I'm out. I want to go do my own thing." And we didn't speak for 3 years. Imagine, me and my mother. We didn't speak for 3 years. I remember she saw me on TV doing ones and twos. Kabelo ngwanak. Yo, Kabelo. So that's when the conversation started to be parent and son, kind of like. And that's if it wasn't for that, if I didn't do that sacrifice, I don't think she would be in the house that she's in. She would do the things that she's doing now. So those are the sacrifices. What I want to stand for, and what I want people to take from my music. I don't know if you've noticed. I don't do, even when I shoot videos. I don't do the typical. I don't have alcohol in any of my videos. I don't do the typical, let's go and have fun. There's a pool, there's bikinis, and it's crazy. I don't do those things. In fact, I'm not a fan of music videos. Yeah, as of recent, I've stopped. There's no music video that you see me in. Like, it's not my thing. I just used to do it because I want people to see my face. It was nice to see yourself on TV as well. But personally, for me, it's something that I don't like. So what I want you to take from my music, yes, I want you to dance, I want you to do whatever, but create some memories, find strength. It's an overwhelming attention of DMs and inboxes, whether it's on DM on Instagram or wherever, where there's people that were literally next to dying, and they listened to Fetch Your Life, the words there, and it gave them hope, or whatever the case. I'm not saying it cured them, but it had something to do with their well-being. You might not look well physically, but the inside for me is more important. So songs like Fetch Your Life, songs like Google It. It's a nice, fun song, but trust me, the dignity of the people from Google It to some extent, it was restored. I know a lot of people that come from other countries went to Google It because of this song. It's either you motivate or you promote a certain lifestyle. So I'm not here to promote lifestyle. I'm just here to motivate and put you in the right space.
Sure, Prince Kaybee.
Sure, Bazam.
Okay, ukamubusane ngiphumeza.
Sure, Tom.
Ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi ama manager nama PR usually athatha how many percent engomeni and ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi how do you plan ama-tours wakho?
Okay, so managers, I've got 2 managers. I've got a booking agent and someone that manages my brand. So a booking agent, every time we get paid for a certain booking, they take 20% of the income. But this is after deducting all the expenses, transport, accommodation, and whatever. They take their 20%, I take my other 80%, and we call it a day. As far as management is concerned, it's according to the relationship that you have with the manager. If you're going to work on a monthly basis, it doesn't really, percentages don't really matter in that relationship because this person does almost everything. Like my manager right now, if I get stuck, flat tire or whatever, and I can't move around or whatever the case, they're always worried what I'm doing. And you can't quantify that in terms of value. You know, you can't say, okay, you came here, hence I'm going to give you 1,000 or whatever. You need to have an understanding. I'm giving you this much, and then, you just be a manager.
How's that? Sharp was it?
Sharp was it?
Sharp. You opened the door for me there when you started telling us about your personal life.
Okay.
I just want to ask in terms of the relationship that you were telling us about your mother and also your late father. Now I want to understand, how do you then impart that to your own? So to your own seeds, how do you relate to them, and do you keep in touch, and what life lessons are you sharing with them?
That part of my life is very open, but within my family, because my mom also confesses to my kids that she wasn't supportive of this music thing, So it's a conversation that we have, even when we partying, not partying outside, club, whatever, but at the house having fun. We have these conversations where, as parents, we need to support your dreams as kids. And only now my mom understands that. And she's the one that is advocating for that. I know now she's paying for my son's piano lessons. She's the one that's paying for those, and I didn't even, I was like, I just spoke the other day. I was like, I wish my son could play the piano. And then a month later, they've done 4 lessons already. I'm like, okay, that's dope, So it's very, very important to support your. It's not even about kids. Anyone that is around you, man. It's very, very important to support what they believe in. My mom also believes in. She's in the taxi industry. She started that business 2 years ago, and my mom is not a big dreamer. She was like, nah, if I can have one taxi, I'm like, no. This one must buy the other one, they must buy the other one. So I supported her through that process. I was pushing her all the time. You need to buy another one. You need to buy another one. So today she's very successful. She's doing her own thing. So it's very important to support each other as a family.
If we considered artists and musicians as frontline workers, for example, the way that we take care of doctors, how would you, if you had to go back to day one when you decided that you wanted to be a musician, how would you reimagine the music industry in order for us to make sure that artists are taken care of in the same way?
Unfortunately, though, with that question is that as artists, there's I know there's Samro. You're familiar with Samro, right? Yeah, and the Samro, there's a lot of incompetent people at Samro. There's corrupt individuals at Samro. There was a scandal that Samro couldn't pay artists, so-and-so billions were not there, whatever the case. So, unfortunately, as an artist, you are on your own. There's no society or a group of people that are there. And when I say a group of people, I mean a group of financially backed people. When an artist goes through what they go through, these people come and say, hey, here's a retirement fund. Oh, you know what I mean? Or here's something to show that you've been working, But unfortunately, if you're not on radio, airplay, the Summer Future Income, they can't be held accountable. So it's very important to understand that you're on your own. It's very important, like I said, financial independence. That's me saying you're on your own. You need to be independent financially as an artist. So forget about the other bodies. Like everyone is corrupt in any other structure that I've known in the music industry, you know. But you need to, as yourself, as a company, you are the company. Don't be corrupt. Don't use your finances haphazardly, crazy. Go to Gucci and spend 2 million like crazy. So yeah, you're on your own, unfortunately. Yeah. I like the mask.
Hi, everybody. Balisa from Cape Town.
So
Quick one.
Yeah.
You were talking about social media and Instagram and I think one of the gentlemen asked how were you able to leverage during lockdown?
Yeah.
Now, my follow-up question to that is the craze right now is TikTok, Reels, challenges, #challenges.
Yeah.
What is your stance on these challenges? Do you think that it's a quick, easy, cheap way to market yourself, market your business, just hop on a trend, have people do dance moves and let that spread like wildfire? Or do you think it's like a lazy way? I'm going to make an international example here so no one is touched.
Okay.
Beyonce hopping on Savage.
Okay.
For me, I thought that was lazy. Megan Thee Stallion was already trending. She was doing so well. She was killing it on her own.
Yeah.
Texas born. Beyonce literally gave her 2 verses and then boom.
Yeah.
Luckily, they gave those proceeds back to charity, 100% of those proceeds.
Dope.
But personally, I thought, it was already hyped. She did the work.
Yeah.
So what's your stance? And as Kabelo, moving forward, do we see you hopping on a TikTok trend?
Okay, yeah. Your questions. So I think as an artist, the bigger you are, the easier it becomes to market yourself. So the smaller the artist, it takes so much more. But with the whole trends thing, let's take Beyonce, for instance. Beyonce can go on Instagram and type a dot. She's going to get all the likes in the world. Just by a dot. You know what I mean? So it's very easy for those kind of people. But these small artists must not think, now I'm a Beyonce, now I'm going to do the same thing. Because if it does work for you, it's not sustainable. You don't have anything to show for it. Let's say I'm a new artist. I come up with a challenge of, give me a popular hashtag. John Vulligate, yes. The recent one. John Vulligate. Let's say John Vulligate is something that I came up with. And it's an overnight sensation. I don't have a catalog, first of all. I am unknown. No one knows me. And people are not really interested in me. They're interested in this hashtag. The minute the hashtag goes away, you're gone. You understand? So one thing also about life lessons is people are never interested in you. The camera guy right there, I'm not interested in him. I'm interested in what he has to do with that camera. You understand? Anyone in here, anyone that has got a job in here, no one is interested in you. They're interested in what you have to offer. So what you do with the things that people are interested in, that you do, you make sure you nurture them, you mold them, you make sure that they live on, keep people interested, in this thing. Because the minute you make this thing about you, it's what do you have to do, what do you have to offer? So that's my thing.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is Nosisi.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of go back to when you started in the music industry and you were kind of committed to music now, when you decided I'm going to start production. There are a lot of people who do the same type of music.
Yeah. Okay.
How do you know that I'm going to do this thing and it's going to earn me money? Or how am I going to... when you talk about your parents or your mom not supporting you, maybe that's the thinking to say, and all doing house music.
Yeah.
So what's going to make you stand apart? Is it by chance? How does it really happen? When do you know to actually commit to say, you know what, I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah.
And even if it takes me 6 years, I'm going to do it and eventually I will succeed.
Interesting question. I think one of the things that we need to understand as individuals is that first, before worrying about what you're going to take back from something, you need to first worry about how you're going to do it. I think from how you're going to do something, then comes the worry of, am I going to make money over this thing? I mean, off of this thing, or am I going to be better than everyone else? So I didn't know if it was going to work. You can say by chance. You can say that. But I don't believe in things by chance. I believe in putting in the work, you know, and then getting something out of that. I say this all the time. There's a lot of producers that I've seen that are in a shack somewhere, at a kasi, that are way, way, way better than me, you know. But he's just sitting there with this thing here. He's just like, I can produce, I'll tag, I produce. You know, that's all he's doing. You know, so I think you need to stand up and start moving, you know, so that you can work the ground with what you have. So work ethic plays a role. Yeah, you need a bit of luck, yes, here and there. You need the talent, you know, the skill, you know, something that people can be able to buy in. One more thing though, when something is good, there's no one that can stop it. You know, when something is good, it's good. So you just need to push it so that people can see it, and then you're gone.
It's me again.
Is it?
Sure. You talked about an app like earlier on, which is like universal.
Or universal music for artists.
Yes. Yeah. And this question is again like a follow-up on what you just said right now about like artists having like music, dope music, but they can't get it out there. You know? One thing to come that I came to realize about music as I grow up music is like to get music out there. Sometimes it's very expensive, especially if you're building a brand. It's not very expensive, but you need an income to get it out there. Firstly,
I don't agree, but carry on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You need like how to present your stuff. Like, I don't know if things have changed around, but in order for you to get a song out, you have to do a cover, you have to distribute your music on platforms, which you have to pay for. You have to move around, get your music to radio stations. You have to have like a presentable copy for the music, you know, to look presentable. So one of my questions is, do you believe in using like gatekeepers to get your music out there, or do you do it for yourself and let it reach people? When you start doing a project, do you have a specific target market saying, okay, this music is like, I know Jermaine will like this music. Now I will focus on pushing my music, go Jermaine.
Yeah.
And you push it yourself, or do you have somebody as a gatekeeper that site and say, I've got this, can you do my music that side, or do you do it yourself?
Yeah, I get the question. Yeah. So this other day I was having a conversation, similar conversation with one of my friends. So the conversation was, what works between having a great song or having a whack song with a big budget? That was the conversation. Big budget, whack song, great song, no budget. What works? For me, it's the song. When I had better days, data file host, you just need, I think you need like 100 megabytes to upload a song on the net, you know? And I can't even quantify 100 megabytes right now. I can't even say how much it is, you know? Let's say I had 15 rand, bro, and I went to an internet cafe, uploaded the song, and then the song is gone. Just like that, you know? But you get big, oh my God, I don't want to be controversial. You get like big collaborations, like big. Can you get like a big artist and another big artist and another big artist on one song? Whack. It lasts for that week. It's over. Like I know those kind of songs. You know those kind of songs. Like everyone knows those kind of songs. Big collaborations, big budget, no talent. Not saying they don't have talent. Sorry guys, not saying they don't have talent, but I'm saying that they didn't execute the talent well enough to show in the song. But you get someone like a Zahara. I remember when Zahara like came out. Do you know Zahara's story? When Zahara came out, she played the guitar released Tears Records. Tears Records was an independent label, not signed under anyone. TK and Zbu took Zahara, put her on. It was over, you know. The time Zahara released Loliwe, I remember there was a time I was traveling to a certain place, but it was a long distance. I didn't know who this girl was, you know. It came on and it was over. Like, I was like, there's a girl, and everyone was like, you are late. Zahara, we know that, you know. So a good thing is very important to focus on how good the song is rather than the budget. I've never paid a music compiler, a TV station. My shit is good, bro. You know? Like, I've never paid any of those things. I just submit and I'm good. Yeah. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Sure, Crims.
Sure.
Ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi wenza kanjani ukuthi thingithi like you have a company and you want maybe Universal to sign a contract with you, to a distribution contract with it. Yeah, how do you do that?
Yeah, it's simple actually. You just you've got a label. You go to Universal. It's called a JV, so it's a joint venture. Whatever the two okay, let me put it this way. There's an artist and then there's two labels. Yeah? This label is an independent label. It doesn't have money to push this artist, and then it calls Universal. Okay, I've got a Zahara here. I think she's really good. We want to push. Can you invest in her? We will like construct a JV. Whatever she makes, you take your money first that you've invested into this artist, and then we sign a 50-50 split. So that's also very, very possible. It's actually very, very simple. It's an in thing actually right now. JVs are flying everywhere. You know, yeah.
Sure, Kaybee.
Sure, Wuti.
How are you?
I've seen you somewhere.
Lindo Summer.
Huh?
Lindo Summer.
Yeah, Lindo Summer. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Face looks very familiar.
So I had a couple of questions, and eventually they all ran out because there's a lot going around. But I think as an artist myself, I'd just like to know, firstly, what has been your biggest highlight so far or achievement since you got into the industry, and what are you inspired by to go the extra mile and also master the craft of which you believe that it's a skill and it was not talent for you?
Yeah, so the highlight for me in my career is actually something very personal. I've got a mother that is into like decors and nice houses, and yeah, you know, I think it's a woman thing. Like everyone is like, you know, so yeah, so she likes those kind of things. So the minute I got her the house of her dreams, like it's something that I can't explain. When I looked at her face, yeah, for me that's my biggest highlight for in my career. Your next question is, I'm inspired by people. I can be inspired by how you look. I can be inspired by how the crew here is so committed to what they're doing. You know, I'll be like, literally, I'll take something very positive from here and be like, yo. When I get to where I'm going, like, yo, Afit, those people there, they were working. Like, I want to do more, you know. So I take a lot from people around me. Also, like, I've got a team that is always, you know, pushing me. Like, they're always like, Afit, you need to go. Like, we don't have time, you know. I'm not saying I'm rushing or I'm competing with anyone. I'm a very competent person. Like, I like being number one. I get so pissed off, dog, when my song is number 5. I hate that. I just want to be there, you know. So I've got people that push me all the time. And for me, it's like a drug, a very positive drug, because I know how to control it. So for me, people that are around me pushing me and the people around that are doing their own thing. I ran a producer challenge on Twitter where I selected a producer. We bought them new equipment and whatever. You know what inspired me from that? What inspired me from that experience? They sent a video that I watched where they're making music. Literally, they made music. If you're into music, you'd understand having a stereo setup. A stereo setup is having 2 monitors working, you know. So what we call this a sweet spot. When you stand in front of 2 speakers and you can receive a stereo setup, we call that the sweet spot. They don't have the sweet spot. They don't know what's happening on the left. Because with music, what you do on the left, you do on the right. So they don't know what's happening on the right. But the quality of the product That's what inspired me. I'm like, how do you know what's going on? How, dog? You know? So he's like, no, I just do it. I just something that happens with me. I'm like, that's proper inspiration. And then from that, I did something else.
Hapela happened that.
Sure, Baba.
Sure. You guys beef every day. Sure, Sure. How important is for one to keep relationships in this industry? And can you explain a 360 deal for me?
Beef on Twitter. Nah? Beef. You're talking about beef on Twitter. I don't wake up and say I want to beef. Really, I don't. I've got better things to do with my time. Like I said, I've got something inside me is triggered when I've got something to say. You know, I can't keep quiet, you know. And I feel like, just to deter a bit from your point, I feel like one of the things the men in South Africa or in the world have got the biggest rate of committing suicide. You know, I feel like one of the things that when people say, hey, I'm going to go kill myself, they can't even say it for someone to help them and say, don't kill yourself. The way they're so, like, suppressed. You're not supposed to say anything. Hey, if you say anything, you're arrogant. So all those things, all that bottling up and taking in things you're not even supposed to take in and keeping quiet, you tend to get like lack of respect from other people, you know. I think even in a setup like this, people know what the digital guy has to say about some things. You know, people know what the coffee guy has to say about some things. People are open about things. We need to have a healthy environment like that. So where people are open to say whatever they want, as long as you're not being disrespectful. As long as you're not being disrespectful, please say what you have to say. So I feel like people kill themselves and they go through depression and whatever the case because they bottle things inside. So me, I'm very open. I speak. I'm not there to impose my narrative on you. I'm there just to say, in fact, based on your point, I think, let's take the masters thing. Maphorisa was like, you don't own your masters, you know? But I'm like, no, there's actually other things that I own that are worth more than the masters. And I listed my businesses. And everyone was like, arrogant. Why is he listing all these things? You know? But that's not the case. I wasn't trying to be arrogant. I was trying to make him realize in South Africa, I'm making more from other things than the masters that you're claiming are going to sustain my life. They've got nothing to do with what I'm doing, you know. The big income that I'm having right now in my life is in something else, not masters, you know. So I didn't wake up and say, I'm waiting for my producer to say something about masters and I'm going to, you know, try and say something bad or negative. I just had something to say that people didn't like, you know, and then they went for me. So it's very important. Relationships are very important when you're honest. You need to be honest with yourself and the person that you're dealing with. So I'll go back to the Maphorisa situation on Twitter. I think he respects me more now than he did before because I was very honest with him with what I think about what he said. Because he tagged me, he's like, Prince Kaybee doesn't own his masters. I'm like, yeah, it's sharp, but I'm not worried about masters. I'm worried about other things, you know. And that was very tense for him and his followers, and I became the bad guy, which I'm always on social media. So I'm like, relationships are very important, but don't lose yourself in trying to secure a relationship. You know, you can secure relationships, but please try not to lose yourself. The people that you're dealing with must know the kind of person you are.
That was an AMP Studios Music Industry podcast brought to you by Old Mutual. I hope you're learning a lot and loving the series. Please subscribe right now to make sure you don't miss out on more. And if you'd like to see videos or access more content or even use the AMP Studios facilities, or maybe you just want to be part of our AMP Studios journey, go to our website. That's ampedstudios.co.za, ampdstudios.co.za, and sign up there. You can also sign up by sending your name to our WhatsApp line on 081 707 6636. That's 081 707 6636.
Music has changed. How it makes us feel never will. The time is now to visit ampstudios.co.za. Brought to you by Old Mutual.